Welcome back, everyone. You might be a Westerner watching this and saying, am I an idiot? Do I need an idiot's guide to Hamas? Well, let's begin by helping you figure that out. If you've seen current events in Israel and said something like, sure, Hamas is butchering innocent civilians, including children, burning people alive, beheading babies, and taking women and girls captive with the stated purpose of raping them, but then you need an idiot's guide to Hamas. If you've attempted a more abstract, sanitized version, sure, what Hamas is doing is bad stuff, but you still need an idiot's guide to Hamas. Also, if you've ignored the stated intentions and goals of Hamas in favor of your own contrived reasons for their actions, you need an idiot's guide to Hamas. If you repeat the fashionable objection about Israel's occupation without being able to demonstrate a remotely historically responsible knowledge of the region, without being able to say who is occupying what, defining who the who are or what the what is, or why who is occupying what qualifies as an occupation at all, you're an idiot, and you need an idiot's guide to Hamas. Finally, if you repeat the fashionable objection about Israel's apartheid, you have no idea of the demographics of Israel and surrounding Arab nations currently, much less in the past. That makes you an idiot who needs an idiot's guide to Hamas. Those are just some of the indications that you might be an idiot. And if you're not, watch this video anyway for suggestions on how to help other people out of idiocy, and leave your own pointers in the comments section as well, because in the West, we are surrounded by idiots. You see, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Or as I like to say, prosperity foments idiocy. And the West has been very prosperous. Now, if you're living in perilous times, your survival may depend on your wit. Being an idiot could get you killed. However, prosperous countries have a lot of momentum, and people can afford to be incredibly obtuse, and it'll be fine for a while. But things keep happening in the West that serve as frequent reminders that we are surrounded by idiots who have the luxury of denying reality in favor of whatever narrative they want to believe. Whether it's litter boxes in schools for kids who identify as cats, or yet another celebration of a man as Woman of the Year, the idiocy in the West is embarrassing. But there is, perhaps, nothing more embarrassing than Westerners being fooled by a group of terrorist cavemen called Hamas. So, idiots and non-idiots alike, let's consider some propositions together. Proposition 1, Hamas terrorists do not think like Westerners. But I should add also that they do know how Westerners think. For examples of the former, in recent days we've seen Hamas proclaim they love death. This fact alone is a sufficient contrast to Western thought, but I'll continue. We've seen them burn Israelis alive. We've seen them killing the elderly. We now know that in their recent attack, Hamas specifically targeted children. Hamas killed children in front of parents and then killed the parents. Hamas also killed parents in front of children and then killed the children or took them captive. They also tortured parents in front of children and children in front of parents. They're checking all the boxes. Hamas took women and girls with the stated intentions of raping them. Hamas paraded the dead bodies of victims around in the streets. Hamas celebrated all of this, and if you don't believe that, just watch the videos that they release. Hamas blocked escape routes for evacuees attempting to leave Gaza. Hamas uses civilians as shields by setting up their operations in hospitals, apartments, and so forth. Now, unless you're at the level of sewage in Western society, and we do have plenty of those, like the university students glorifying the violence of Hamas while at the same time whining about improper pronouns, we consider the actions of Hamas to be war crimes, not to mention incredibly, incomprehensibly depraved. I say all this just to communicate the very simple point that Hamas does not think like you. So when Westerners say, sure, Hamas is butchering innocent civilians, including children, burning people alive, beheading babies, and taking women and girls captive with the stated purpose of raping them, but whatever follows will inevitably be some attempt at Western rationalization of what's happening. Don't do that. Don't be an idiot. Hamas does not think like you. It's not that hard of a concept. Proposition 2, not all cultures are equal. I know that's a painful one, isn't it? We're Westerners. We're multicultural. We're pluralistic. We're inclusive. Citizens of the world all feel the same way. All cultures believe the same things. And coincidentally, people everywhere basically think the same things as us. We can all live together in harmony in the utopia that we create for ourselves. That's a myth. Some cultures have values that are demonstrably inferior to others. If your culture says to rape a woman, then kill her, then spit on her, then celebrate over her dead body, then common sense says your culture is inferior. Now, here's the tough part for Westerners. Such actions should be unequivocally condemned without qualification or reference to anything anyone else is doing anywhere. This may be the most difficult part of the Idiot's Guide, so here's some help. Work on repeating this sentence. I unequivocally condemn Hamas. On your first attempt, you may say something like, I don't like what Hamas is doing. Your second attempt may be something like, I condemn Hamas, but no, I unequivocally condemn Hamas. It may be helpful to actually vocalize the period at the end of the sentence. Let me illustrate. I unequivocally condemn Hamas, period. It'll take some work, but I believe that even Westerners most brainwashed into the grueling guilt trips, into the countless mea culpas, into the endless series of struggle sessions can eventually do it. Yeah, probably not.